Hey everyone. During the time of the coronavirus, and just kind of the scattered nature of all the different things that we have had to do and translate in different areas, my wife and I were both working from home, and so we're trying to figure out how to balance out, work-life stuff, and it just seems like that entire structure that I've created before that is just decimated. And so we're trying to reclaim some things. And as a part of that, you want to overlap as much as possible. And one of the things that we felt very convicted, our children's pastor has done some incredible things. And we've had volunteers who have helped to do music and create lessons. We use a curriculum at our church called Godly Play, and just providing lots of resources for our children. But there's also been just a little bit of us trying to reclaim that in the time before, recent Sunday school type of models, the people who were responsible for teaching their kids was the parents. And I think there's something beautiful and godly and biblical about that. And so what I wanted to do is just create a few videos, ways in which our family has been able to utilize everyday items to teach things about God to our kids. I don't in any way, I'm experimenting. I don't intend to be somebody who's an expert in this area. We just felt like it was our responsibility. And so I'm going to make a few short videos that will hopefully give you some ideas of what I've done. My hope is then that you might also, anyone who's out there who's trying to navigate the same space, try to provide some videos additionally to give me ideas of things that we could do in order to disciple our kids and find ways to create avenues of experience and discipleship for our own children. So I already know that there's some Bible memorization that's taking place in our church, which seems obvious, to me on the other side, but it just never occurred to me. So I saw it, I'm like, oh, we should do some of that. But there's a handful of things that we've decided to do. As a base understanding, the things I want to encourage you to do is one of the things that inspired me was as you read the Gospels, Jesus is literally using everyday tangible items. He's pointing at mustard seeds because there's mustard seeds tangibly available for them to understand what's going on. He's using farming analogies because it was an agrarian society. And so what I kept thinking is, okay, what's around me and what can I easily use to say, hey, this kingdom principle, the kingdom of heaven is like blank. And then drawing from the history of the Jewish background, which you all know that I'm always interested in, but trying to find ways that would help to fortify that. And so I want to encourage you first, just think what's around me that I can use as a means to figure out ways I can disciple my kids. And so a handful of those things that I'll try to explain later is we want to teach about. I thought about teaching the tabernacle. My kids wanted to set up the tent in our backyard. And so I thought, okay, how can I use this to teach about the tent of meeting, the tabernacle, and different temporary structures throughout the scripture and liken it to the tent that we were building in our backyard. So I'm going to make a video about that one. One of the things also is just my wife had the idea of making matzah bread and using that and all the symbolism so that we can then later use that matzah bread to celebrate communion. But even the making of the bread had lots of really cool learning and teachable moments inside of that. And then there's a couple of other ideas that we came up with along the way, and I'll share those things with you. One is the PowerPoint thing that I did with my kids, because I really wanted them to be able to answer the question, to my kids, what is the gospel? And I wanted them to be able to understand that. And so I'm going to produce a video for at least those three over the next few weeks, and maybe give some creative on-site pictures and different things to help us see that. Again, all of this is in the heart. I want to stir our imaginations and reclaim some ground in terms of, if we're not able to be on site and have the full breadth of our children's ministries, let's reclaim the idea that as parents, we are responsible for teaching our kids. Jody was always supplementary to what God has expected you to do. But I've discovered, and this is my own admission, I've discovered I've leaned heavily on others to disciple my kids, and I'm a pastor. So this is kind of my shout out, my encouragement to you. How can we start to cultivate an imagination of discipleship inside of our households and using everyday items as a way to do that so that it's reproducible in homes throughout our church and maybe anyone else who might be listening to this. So expect some more videos. This is just kind of the intro, and hopefully I'll be able to put together a few more, and with your ideas beyond the three that I have, we can cultivate some really cool opportunities and ideas within our family discipleship right now during this COVID season, and hopefully some of those things stick. So keep tuning in, and we'll continue to keep this conversation going.